guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my December 2019 TBR. So this TBR is a little different than a lot of mine. I had this plan, of course I had a plan, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then closer we got to December, I'm like, I don't know if I want to hold strict to this. So this is kind of a TBR maybe kind of thing. It's kind of my end of year TBR, because I know a lot of people put those up, but I was in the middle of NaNoWriMo and Nonfiction November, and I just could not think that far ahead. So what I put on here is all the books that that I have set aside during the year and would like to return to. So there were 3 books that I put aside that I am not going to finish this year. I just decided between what I have here and what my mind, like what I felt like, they're not books I want to pick up in the next month. So I just put them back on my shelf. So I took them off my currently reading, and they're back to want to read on Goodreads. But for me, it was, I just put them back on the shelf, and someday I'll come back to them. Hopefully next year I'll pick them up again. But I just needed to get them off my like sitting around in the pile, like waiting to be read when I'm not going to read them. And then, so then the rest of the books that I was in the middle of that I want to finish are in this stack here, as well as some rereads I would like to hit before the end of the year, just because I haven't done a lot of rereading in the last couple months due to both, like a lot of the read-alongs and vacations and things like that. So I just have not had a chance, and I feel like I'm missing it. There's at least 2 that I want to read for sure. And then the third was just kind of a placeholder, which I'll explain. So anyway, the only like for sure book that I want to pick up in December that is not one I've picked up before, which I really want to and should have picked up 2 years ago when I bought the book, and that is Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson, a story of justice and redemption. Olive at a Book Olive is doing a Booktube common read. I will have her video linked down below. So this book is a book that I heard about 2 years ago, I think Nonfiction November, and it's talking about the justice system in the U.S. and I believe he is a lawyer, I'm pretty sure, yeah, and for defending the poor, the wrongly condemned, and those trapped in the further reaches of our justice system. So anyway, I hear this is really hard and heartbreaking and stuff, but I think it's really important, so I do want to get to this. And she's doing the first 9 days of December, so you're supposed to read, I think, 2 chapters. So I've already tabbed it out. We'll see if I actually keep to the schedule, but I'm hoping to read this in December. So that was the only book that was like new that I have physically. I should have got my iPad out, but I did not. But Nilinghi Singh has a new book out this month called A Madness of Sunshine, which is her first thriller. And I'm really excited for it. It's something a little different for her. So it comes out the first week of December. I have it pre-ordered, so it'll show up. I went book depository because it was paperback, because I don't want a hardback. I love her. I love Nilinghi Singh, and I have all her books, but I do not buy the hardbacks. I cannot have that in my collection. That's too much space. So I got the paperback. So anyway, so that'll be coming sometime probably the 2nd or 3rd week of December, but I'm excited for that one too. So those are the only 2 new books, or books that I have not started already as we go into December. There might be a few books that cross over that I'm still in the middle of at the end of November, but those ones will already be on my radar. You already know I'm reading those. So then I'm going to talk about a few of the books that I'd like to pick up and finish. First are 3, so I kept 3 books that I didn't either DNF or put back on to wait to read, or I want to read later kind of thing for me. But 3 of these books I really want to finish this year, because I started them this year and I'd really like to finish them. The first one is Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal. I've been reading this since April. I'm not sure what it is about me and this audiobook. It's fantastic, but I had to stop, had to take breaks in it. So I've now taken another couple months break, and I only have 2 hours left on the audiobook. So I will definitely be listening to that, forcing myself to finish it. It is an awesome book. I love this book, but I don't know what it is about the audiobook. So I think it's just me and fiction, But, I mean, she does a fantastic job, so I don't know why I'm having trouble. Because Mary Robinick Wall narrates it, and I think she does a really good job. So, anyway, I just have like 50-some pages left. I just need to finish this. So this will probably be the first one. This, again, is a sci-fi alternate history, 1950s, when a meteor hits off the east coast of the U.S., and pretty much destroys it, and so this is the race to get into space. And again, we're dealing with things from the 50s of, you know, of men and women and rights, and also other racial things going on as well, and also some mental health as well. So it's I think there's a lot of good representation here of an alternate history of how things were and how things can change when there's these kind of catastrophes. And so it's a good book. Why can't I finish it? I have the second book sitting on my shelf waiting for me. I don't know. I have another sci-fi book, but this one I more understand. So this is Revenant Gun by Yoon Ha Lee. This is the third book in the Machineries of Empire series. I love book 1 and 2, Nine Fox Gambit and Raven Stratagem. But I reread them this year before I started this because I'd held on to this book for a year, and I'm like, no, I have to finish this series. So I went back and reread those because I'd read them in 2017 when I first got into the series. And I think I just burnt out by the time I got to the third book. And I think I was reading this in May or June. So I only got 140 pages in, which is still a good chunk of it's a 400-page book. So I really need to reread this. I'm either going to restart it or skim through it to get back into it. I pretty much remember this because it's pretty distinctive. Again, this is a sci-fi series that is very different. It's using like mathematical themes and stuff for how they do battles, and how their empire is put together is to try to keep things in the same, keep everybody in the kind of the same, doing the same thing. And it's really good. I didn't explain that well at all. But anyway, I want to finish the third book and finish, because I do have a book of short stories by her, by this author as well, and I want to make sure I get to that too, but it probably won't be this year. But I would like to finish this, so then I just have the short stories left. So then I've completed the full series. But I really want to say I finished the trilogy. That would be nice. And then the other book that I'd like to finish is Barchester Towers by Anthony Trollope. This is book 2 in the Chronicles of Barsetshire. I was really enjoying this when I read it. I think this was June as well. And I don't remember why I put it down for some reason. Something else came up, and it could even have been Jane Austen July. I don't remember what happened. But I put it down thinking I was going to pick it right back up, and I did not, and I haven't touched it since. So I'm 104 pages in of a 90 page book. So this is kind of the outlier, as in I'm not sure I'll get this done, but I do want to make some progress on this before the new year. So my goal is to at least attempt to read a part of this again, and then maybe in January I can finish it off. We'll see. As I said, but I really like this. This is, again, you know, Victorian literature. I really enjoy that. I'm really starting to like Trollope. I really was getting into his narration style. I don't know why I put it down. It was my fault. Anyway, but so I would really like to finish this before the end of the year. And then I have 2 rereads that I have partially started that I would like to finish, just because, again, I love the rereads. I want to do some, do a lot more, which I'll show in a second. But these are the 2 that I started this year for different things, and I just didn't finish. First is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. This was also this is from Victober. It was my reread challenge, and I didn't finish it because I started it too late, because that's how I do everything. I'm a procrastinator. So I got 288 pages in, and I think it's like 420, about 430. So I think I have like 6 hours left on the audiobook. So I want to pick this up in December, this audiobook as well, after I finish the Calculating Stars, because that's going to be when I knock off first, hopefully. But I do want to finish this just because I was enjoying the reread a lot, and I wanted to listen to it again and again. I think the narrator is Juliet Stevenson, but I'm not positive. And I forgot to look, so sorry about that. But it was really good, and I really want to finish my reread of that, because again, I love that book, and I'm And I want to read more Elizabeth Gaskell, but it's just like I have to get through that part, that reread first. And then I would really, really like to finish my reread of The Witchwood Crown by Tad Williams. This is book 1 in The Last King of Ostenard, which is the trilogy that comes after Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. And if you've been here at all, you know that I love this book, and I love this series, and I love this author. So I really want to read, I don't think I'm going to read it like fully, because I still have like, I think I have 400, well, yeah, I have a little under 400 pages left of this book to read. And I stopped listening to audiobooks. I still had like 20 hours, and I don't know if I want to listen to all that. I did listen to 322, but I got to the point where I was getting, it was going on forever, because again, it was over 30 hours. I don't remember if it was close to 40 or what. It was a long audiobook. Yeah, it must have been close to 40. So I think I'm going to switch back to this physical copy, and I might skim part of the middle, because I read this 2 years ago. I do really remember a lot of things. I was just enjoying the reread, but now I'm getting to the point where I've had Empire of Grass, here it is, on my shelf since May, and I am not gonna let it go a whole year on my shelf unread. I just can't do it. So I want to finish my reread of this so that in January that I can pick up Empire of Grass. That is my goal. Anyway. So then I just want to put up just a couple little of rereads that I'm probably going to hit. I was thinking about rereading something yesterday when I picked up something else to get me through to the end of the month. So good for me for picking up a new book. But I did pick out a few books off my shelf. And there's probably another one that I could have pulled, but I've decided I'll just stick with these ones at this point. So I do still want to finish my reread of the other series. Again, I read it earlier this year. This is book number 4, Marked in Flesh. This is one of my favorite discoveries of this year. Don't be surprised if this is on my top books of the year, because they were fantastic. And this is book number 4, which is where a lot of things, you know, like it's the conclusion of a lot of things come together in this one. And again, this is an alternate history of a world where there are others, which are people who can change into other creatures, you know, so shapeshifters kind of thing. And there's also some other things kind of that are even older than those people, those kind of things. And then the humans have to rent land in the United States, in the Northern America. And so there's always a fight for power and dominance and land. So, oh, I love this series. Meg and Simon are some of my favorite characters. I just love these, and I love the whole cast. This is one of those huge cast of characters where at first you might be a little confused because there's so many people thrown at you in the first book, written in red, but oh my, or it is written in red, right? God, now I've just hurt myself. I can't believe I just blanked out which one that is. Yeah, written in red. Oh, anyway, but I said, I love this series, and I do want to finish my reread of this. So this is book 4, and there's a 5th book that I read earlier this year. So I want to finish out the reread so that I can start. I want to start, I think it's Lake Country is the first, no, Lake Silence is the first book in the next series of the others. And it's different characters, and it's written differently because it has a first-person narrative, which I'm not sure how I'm going to enjoy that. But I do want to get to those next year, but I want to finish my reread of these because I loved them so much earlier in the year. I definitely want to reread this year. So I want to at least do the 4th book. Hopefully I'll do 4 and 5, but you know, I have a lot of books here. I also want to finish my reread of The Belgariad by David Eddings. This is Enchanter's Endgame. This is the 5th book. I read all the other 4 so far this year, so I want to get to the 5th book so that next year I can do the Malarian. Is that how it is? It's something close to that. Anyway, so those are another 5 books. So I want to reread those too. So I do a reread of these probably every 10 years, and I'm doing my reread this year. So, I've been doing these this year, and then I'll do next year will be the other 5 books. So, but I just love them. And again, they're classic fantasy written in the early 80s. So, you know, they are classic. I mean, there's nothing mind blowing here, but these are just good fun. I love all the characters. And their fights and their the things that they have to go through. And of course, this is the big climax, so I need to read them. And then I'm just putting this up as what I'm probably going to reread at least one of her books. I mean, even though I'm going to get one of her new books this month. But I'll probably pick up another book by Nilingyi Singh at some point. I've been kind of craving one of these books. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick up one of the Side Changeling ones. I'm not sure. I just pulled this one off the shelf. But this one and Heart of Obsidian are kind of calling me. So I might go back and read a few of these if I get to the point where I need some rereads. And of course, those are comforts for me. I love her books. So those are all the books that I think I'm going to read in December. Do I really think I'm going to read all those? Who knows? I could pick like all different kinds of books later on. But these are what I think. I really like to finish at least the 3 that I've started. I want to read Just Mercy because that's been on my shelf for 2 years. And then again, I want to throw some rereads in there because it's the end of the year and I just want to kind of chill out. And I have like the long weekend before Christmas off. So I'll have some days that I can read some books, which will be nice. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so what are you guys doing for December? Do you guys get all hyped up on all these things you want to do and then you got to go, wait a minute. There's a lot of family things coming up. I can't like plan that much because I also have another weekend I have to go hang out with my mom and help decorate the house since we're having Christmas at her house. I don't have to clean my house. I'm so excited. I know, and that's sad. Anyway, so anyway, let me know what you guys are reading or if you're reading any of these or if you have any tips on what you do at the end of the year with all those books you just didn't get around to finishing even though you want to finish them. You just put them aside for some reason. Do you do what I do and wait till December and then kind of try to finish them off? Either put them back on your want to read or put them back on the shelf, or do you try to finish them out? Let me know and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.